What's good, everybody? You know what time it is. It is time for Elevated Vibes on IntellectualRadio.com. Let me start things off by saying the number to call to join the conversation that we are about to have. The number is 708-223-8953. Once again, that is 708-223-8953. And you can always hit us up on Facebook Live and jump on in, y'all. Now, before we even get started on everything, this show is brought to you by Vibez Rent-A-Car in St. Charles, Illinois, one of the best places for your rent-a-car needs. And as well, if you are in the Bloomington, Normal area and you are looking for that professional, top-notch cut, you better hit Clips Mobile Barber Service. All right, y'all. This is what we're talking about today. We're striving for a good or great personal wellness. All right. Now, alongside of me, I got the man. That's right. One of the kings. The other king ain't here today. He had to handle some business, but he'll be back next week, guaranteed. I got the king. That's right. The man.
The myth. The legend.
The boss,
Thank you.
I
mean, you know, if we talk about personal wellness, you know, you got to talk proudly about yourself.
Yes, you do.
If nobody else ain't gonna compliment you, you got to compliment yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yourself.
So you know, if you know, don't take no half-hearted measures either. You know,
make it big
or go home. You know what I'm saying?
Sir,
like,
yes,
you know,
sir.
you were put on this earth for a divine purpose, and don't let no one else come and take that for you. So,
that's right, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the boss man, Mike B.
Woohoo! Yes, I know what you're thinking. Hold your applause. No, I'm just kidding. But keep it going. What up, sir? It's good to be back here in the studio. Today's a topic that, you know, is something that's near and dear to my heart, you know, something that we've all struggled with. And I'm coming from it now on the side of accomplishing that mountain, but going up that mountain.
Yes,
you
sir.
know?
Well, hey, at least you're going. All right. Now, to everybody who don't know and don't understand, all right, there are different general aspects of personal wholeness. All right, that leads up to a process that we must all, just like you were speaking about, take in order to better ourselves in every aspect of our lives. Some of these aspects are spiritual, mental, and physical. Now, it depends on who you are. Some of us may place all in one general thing, while others, they kind of, take each aspect as is.
Yes,
you
sir.
know? So today we are going to touch on all three of them. All right.
Okay.
All right. Now, let's get on that physical fitness for a second.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Now, physical fitness, general health care. All right. The health of the people in many ways have been overlooked. Examples of this is the high sticker prices of many life-saving medicines. And if you really get down and dirty with it, the price differences of overprocessed food versus more natural and organic foods. Now, saying this to you,
Yes,
boss
sir.
man,
Uh-huh.
and saying this to anybody out there who wants to give a call in real quick.
Yes, sir.
But I'm going to throw it at you right now. I would like to know, how would you make some changes in these issues that's out here?
Well, first of all, since we're talking about physical, we have to acknowledge that the United States suffers from a large rate in obesity. You know, obesity being defined as 33% over your body mass index. I believe 33 or 35% over your body mass index. Part of that is also just due to the nature of our jobs. You know, we've become more sedentary. We've moved from the farms to the offices. The high pressure to work, and not, eating fast food lunches. The Netflix and chill. the COVID-15 or whatever you did during the COVID times.
Yeah.
But, as someone who has struggled with weight. Bullied as a kid because of my weight, lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem because of my weight. Physicality is something that's very high and, dear to me. I've been engaged in this weight loss journey for, it feels like my whole life. And it always feels, like you're always on this journey. You take some steps around the mountain, you take some steps to climb the mountain, and then you fall back down. But right now, I'm probably my second best, maybe first best physically fit wise. First being when I was in college and wrestling. But now, the things I didn't like to do, I enjoy. But I'm all about encouraging people to get physically fit. I don't even say physically fit, just to get active. I'm a big fan of the saying that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. And, I don't know if my trainer is listening. A trainer I had, his name is Paul Wright. Shout out to Paul, put me on this journey. When I started working out with Paul, I couldn't do a push-up. Wow. And I was maybe late 20s, early 30s. I couldn't do a push-up. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things he told me was that there will come a day where it will bother you more not to work out than it does to work out. And I laughed. I was like, ha, ha, ha. Nah, that ain't me, dog. But he put me on this journey to physical fitness. And, we got to stop thinking of physical fitness as, the hot bods. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If you can shave time off your mile running, if you can, do an extra pull up, extra sit up.
Because everything is little steps.
Little steps.
Because you took steps to get where you got before you, was out of shape. All right.
Look, it took me 28 years at my heaviest to get to 350 pounds, 360 pounds. It ain't coming off, It
ain't coming off in one day.
Oh, nah. I mean, we can sit here and wish it, and right. Only in America do they say have a game show where the goal is to lose weight. That only happens in America. I find that just absolutely bonkers. Like in America, we've made a game show out of losing weight. Yeah. But just to everybody, because the first thing people do is they just look at who they are and says, I can't. You know what I'm saying? And, but you can. Even if it's while the commercials are playing, you getting up and sitting down on your couch. That's squats. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. If you sitting there and you standing in line and you going up and down on your tippy toes, that's working calves.
Yes, it is.
If you go for a walk around the block, that's cardio.
Right.
So
speaking of working calves, wasn't it Skechers had a shoe?
The wet, yeah, I think they had to pay a big claim out for that because they misled people about the results. Put on our shoes, lose 50 pounds. Well, I don't know, but it was something about the shoe that they had that had a wedge and lose weight. It was
would keep going up and
down, and it angled your foot a certain way, and people bought the shoe, because we're always looking for the easy way,
right?
And I think the Navy SEALs have a saying that is the only easy day was yesterday.
That's true. You already got through with it.
You already done with it. So I enjoy working out. When I don't work out now, my day is horrible. My wife will say, "Did you work out today?" When I'm in a bad mood, because she knows that if I'm not, working out, and it's just how I start my day. I absolutely enjoy weightlifting, and I'm not trying to enter no Arnold Schwarzenegger contest. I like to look like Will Smith and Ali, of course. Who wouldn't? I'm saying. So, but we all a work in progress, and
as long as you realize that you're that work in progress and had not given up, you still have a chance.
Well, if I may, I'll share a story that I had with my youngest son. We had gone to the doctor maybe late last year, early last year, and the doctor was really concerned about his weight. And I'm not saying this to embarrass my son because I know, weight is a touchy and sensitive subject. But he came to me and he said, Dad, I really want to get this weight off. I don't like who I am. Something to that effect. And the conversation that I had with him is, I was like, son, I see you making the same mistake that I made. If I could have a time machine, I would go back. But I was like, you have to love yourself and accept you where you are, because that what you love, you want to change. That what you hate, you want to destroy. And if you start off from the physical point of, I hate myself, no matter how much you try to do, your mind sees yourself as trying to destroy yourself, and you will sabotage and do things that, even though you worked out, you'll go to McDonald's and get the French fries, or you'll eat the Haagen-Dazs ice cream, or what I'm saying. These are this as much as, and we're going to talk about the mental, the physical, the physical manifests what's happening mentally. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to save my son for that, because I grew up not liking myself and hating myself because of how I looked, and blaming my weight for all my troubles. And so I wanted to nip that in the bud, and I just wanted to tell him, like, son, no, you gotta love yourself. You gotta love it, because when you love yourself, truly love yourself, and we'll talk about that in the mental aspects when we get there. That what you love, you want to change, you want to make better.
That's so very true.
And that what you hate, you will destroy. And matter of fact, I don't even tell people, like, you're not losing weight. I because, and we'll talk about this again, or maybe we'll talk about it now. In the beginning, there was the word, right? And words have power. So let me ask you this: if I say weight loss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this: what happens if you lose your keys?
You search for it. You work at finding.
All right. What happened if one of your kids were lost? What would you do?
Oh, you're going to search for them. You're going to go get them.
What happens if you lost and out in the wilderness? What you going to do?
Find your way out.
Right. Are you trying to find that weight that you lost?
Nope.
So, right. Let's change the way we talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm undergoing a transformation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not weight loss. In my process of transforming, I have lost weight, but I ain't looking for it.
Right. You ain't trying to find where
I ain't trying. No, you got it, you keep it.
You release it.
Yeah. You know how they say, if you don't claim this package within 30 days,
right?
Guess what? I'm on day 45.
Right. So take it back.
Take it back. Return the sender. So, as we talk about the physicality, I encourage everybody to do it. Get with somebody. For me, working out by myself is my time. If I work out with people, I enjoy it. But for me, that's where I find my spirituality, is in that time when I'm working out by myself.
All right. And we're going to touch on that spirituality thing too.
Well, I've been trying to get you to come out and work out with me for a minute, partner. So
I'm getting there, man. I'm getting there. It's all a work in progress.
Right, I got you. I got you. We going to hit that gym one day. We're going to hit that gym one day.
I missed them days. They way back. Anyhow.
Well, I mean, you used to be a football player, so, you used to the grind.
Yeah. I'm not going to touch on any of that right now.
Oh, okay. But, that's okay.
Just to also go with a little bit of something where we were talking about with the physical, and then food and then healthcare and so forth. Mm-hmm. Another thing, you got to look at these pharmaceutical companies who, and I'm not trying to get off the weight loss, but I'm just saying in general, a simple medicine that they may make that may cost them $1, they'll charge you $70. And the thing is, all right, the government knows this. All right.
Oh, yeah.
You cannot let these big conglomerates of companies do this to the people that you say you serve, the citizens of your nation, the citizens of your country.
Sure you can. You make the money on the comeback.
Well, this is true. That is very true.
I mean,
but don't say that you are for the people when you're doing your best to.
I'm gonna take the gatekeepers thing. It's time for the people to stand up. Gatekeepers always pushing for the people.
Exactly.
And so one of the things you can start to do is to educate. Like, I'm starting to learn. Like, the big thing in the 80s and 70s was that sugar was bad. Right. No, I'm sorry, not sugar was bad. Fat was bad. Fat was bad. Like, you know, so they started taking out all the fats and stuff out of foods, and food started tasting horrible. What we find out is, oh, this is because the sugar companies got together and tried. They knew if we couldn't find a villain, they were going to be it. And so that's why we started seeing all this sugar and corn syrup and all of this stuff, you know, put into different foods.
Right.
You know, so of course, anything that talks about physicality, we also got to look at nutrition. You know, like, why is it easier and cheaper to go to KFC and buy a 3-piece than it is to go and get you some fresh vegetables from Jewel?
And see, that's the thing I was on touch on as well. All right. It shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't, but it is.
Not at all. Because like you said, that 3-piece or whatever, I don't even know the cost of it now. So let's hypothetically say
$4.95.
Okay, I was about to say $5.
You know, you got.
I was just about to say.
I mean, you go to Wendy's and get you a 5 for $5. That's a double bacon cheeseburger, chicken nuggets, a drink, and some French fries. You get you 5 for $5. Now, you know, most people got $5. You know what I'm saying?
And there you go. But then you go somewhere else where you putting some green on your plate, and I'm not talking about the green most folks is probably thinking what I'm talking about. No.
You mean the lettuce on the hamburger?
Yeah. Well, lettuce,
tomato,
asparagus.
Oh, you talking about
the real green?
Oh, real green.
Yeah,
green.
You know, now that meal will cost you probably what, $15?
I mean,
why is that triple when it's something that's probably good for you?
Well, we know obesity rates started rising in the late 70s, early 80s when we started taking fats and stuff out of food, and we convinced people that fat was bad, when actually your body needs and desires and craves fats and creates a sense of satiety that lasts longer, you know, because, you know, remember at one time they were pushing all breads and stuff. And remember in school when we got the pizza with the thick bread and, you know, all of that stuff, and the Texas toast and all of that bread was supposed to be good for us. I mean, you know, high C reformulated and all of that stuff. And then, you know, don't forget in the 80s, they were, you know, the Coke and Pepsi wars and how all of this stuff was good for us, you know. And so in essence, and I hate to say it, people were bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, led amok, and all of this stuff. And so now we're coming to grips with, you know, seeing, and I think what you're hitting at is food as nutrition, food as holistic. We're recognizing that, you know, everything that bothers us or as an ailment can be cured by our diets. You know, like, why are we seeing such high rising rates in cancers and stuff like that? You know, and part of it has to be nutrition. Like, we have to have
that's a good portion of it. I mean, it really is.
We have to, I mean, it's one thing to work out, and that's great. Workout is great.
It's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. You feel great. You feel glorious. You know, I feel like I'm at my highest being when I'm working out. But to talk about that without acknowledging nutrition, you know, it fails us. You know, it fails us as a people. So that's my little spiel, you know. But you know, as I always say, you know, I try to give these little nuggets. Just start with a walk. Just start walking. You know, everybody has well, not everybody, but if you are somewhere where you feel safe to walk, just start walking. If you can't walk
in the house.
Crawl from your front door. Just do military crawls. You know,
if you gotta go up and down the stairs,
go up and down the stairs. You can go up and down one stair. You can go literally step up, step down, step up, step down. Just do it quickly and do it in succession. During commercial breaks, just get up off the couch and sit down. Get up off the couch and sit. I mean, commercials are out on what, 2 minutes?
Right.
You know, you could do 2 minutes of squat. You know, if you got a chair in your house, you know, put the chair forward and slide forward and do you some tricep dips. You know, just every day, just try to get your heart rate up, and not from stress. You know, do it as a result of physicality. You know, wife yelling at you, heart rate up. You know,
you
kids,
can walk outside,
heart rate up. You know, like, I gotta go to work, heart rate up. You know, so, but no, just there's a reason that they tell you to put your oxygen mask on first on the plane, because if you can't help yourself, then how you gonna help others?
True.
You know, so the physicality, I think, of the 3 things we're talking about, is the easiest to take care of. There's no excuses. There's no reason. There's nothing. Like, there's no reason that you can't be active. He's like, well, I hurt. Okay, well, you can either live with the pain of regret or the hurt of achievement. You gonna choose.
Yeah.
Either way, you can
pick.
you take a pick. You can live with the hurt of regret or the pain of achievement.
Right.
It can either be day one or one day.
Exactly.
So of all the three things, the physicality I think is the easiest. And that's not to say, it's a walk in the park.
Right. It's all needed.
It's all needed.
It's all
but of the three things,
to making that better you.
Yeah.
To get into that personal wholeness. That's where we all want to get. And that's the truth. Now, let's touch on something that is near and dear to you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mental health. All right. For a long time, mental health has either been that little secret in the corner, like, well, that's Nene-Nae's little baby. Just let them be on how they be. It's been that somewhat the stain on society.
Yes.
In a way, it still is, but
yes.
Now they use it for many other things. Now, I mean, a guy goes whatever he does and shoot up a grocery store. I hate to put it like that, but let's keep it real. First thing they look at, or they may claim, mental health.
Yeah.
Off the top, two things. Give me two things that you would push for that could be an aid for mental health societal wise.
Well, first of all, we have to recognize that there's an epidemic of angry men in this country. Now, I don't know why. As I've told you, I believe that there is a spirit of anger and resentment that I see fermenting in this country. And we can talk about America and in its highest praise, but we ignore that at our peril. And with these rash of shootings, and that's we're not going to talk about, gun violence and all of that, but people are hurting. Our nation is hurting. We were literally torn apart, and I don't know if it would have been this way with or without COVID, but COVID did something that has never been done in America before. It allowed people to take a break and analyze where they are, and some people looked at it and said, "I don't like where I am."
That's true. That's absolutely true. Also, what COVID has done, some of those who needed that release of being around everybody or just being out and about could not get it. So a lot of people has a lot of, like you just said, anger, pent up anger,
loneliness.
They already talking about at sports events, where the fans are acting out.
I mean, we forgot how to be human with each other. And I'm not sure if that's necessarily encapsulates what's going on, but you asked me what I would do. First of all, we need to treat mental health as a crisis here in America. I mean, just even, mental health has to be more than, oh, you're going to get help because you tried to commit suicide, or you overdosed on medication. We are all perfectly imperfect. We're all battling our demons. And someday our demons get the best of us. Ain't none of us ran a perfect 100-yarder. We all battle demons. Part of being human and growing is the battle with your demons. And sometimes we all get into this situation where we need professional help. And there should be no stigma with that. And people might, take me, to church for saying that sometimes that mental health can't come from the church. I mean, don't get me wrong. Spirituality is and I think that is the hardest thing we're going to talk about tonight.
And that's why I saved it for last.
Yeah, spirituality is the hardest thing, but we need more trained counselors. We need trained counselors in our school. We need professionally trained counselors that just help people who are coming out of COVID, people who are dealing with issues, and we need to take away the stigma from around mental health. We should treat it just like we treat going to get a physical. There are couples that are in need of couples counseling. There are people who are angry and just don't even know why they're angry, and we need people who are counseled in the mental health arts to help us work through these issues. You know, how much better would this world be if we were all living to our fullest potential, if we were all walking in God's glory and grace?
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, we don't do that.
Right. And wouldn't you say too, with, you know, better mental health facilities and so forth, shouldn't it be and I know people don't like things of being taxed, but let's just say within the taxes that you pay yearly, you paying tax on whatever. The taxes that you pay yearly, shouldn't it be part of that going to mental health facilities? Hey, I gotta say, you can make up a scholarship for kids going to college if they want to get in the field, and you know, because they see things where, hey, they may see a job out there. One job is paying, well, it could be chump change an hour, while the other one that everybody's going to go for, that every mental health professional probably will not get. You know what I mean?
I mean, Rich, what you're hitting at is a bigger issue within the American system, and that is, how do we feel about the health of citizens? Like, you know, we just struck down this week, the Supreme Court, hopefully for the last time that will be challenged, kept up Obamacare. But Obama only deals with the physical, the doctors. Right. We still haven't talked about dentistry. Mm-hmm. We haven't talked about vision care. Mm-hmm. You know, is like someone said, I think Martin Luther King was he's like, we have, you know, socialism for the corporation, but rugged individualism for the individual. And so, you know, it's great that you can go to the doctor and, you know, our government is paying for these COVID vaccines. But what would America look like if you can go and just as easily as Obamacare takes care of your physical, but takes care of your teeth? You know, what happens if Obamacare, if your child needs a hearing aid that costs, you know, the one that the ocular implant so that they can hear, but you don't have insurance? Right. You know what I'm saying? What would happen? What would America look like if, you know, instead of having your teeth pulled because that's the only thing you can afford, you know, you can get veneers and caps and, you know, whatever. And so I say all of that to say, what would America look like if one of these mass shooters could have had access to mental therapists who could call and say, I'm angry, I want to go blow up something, I want to go shoot something, you know, but instead they felt so alone and so angry. I mean, I hate to steal from David Chappelle, but I ain't never been that angry where I just wanted to go in and just shoot my coworker. I ain't gonna never let you get me to that point.
I mean,
I might curse you out.
I may have been mad at the job,
right? But to go back up there,
there's a few folks that know, you know, but I'm not gonna do the fool.
I refuse to surrender my dignity to the point where I feel I gotta come back. My only option is to come and shoot you.
Right.
You know, it's like, nah, that, you know, but these guys, and, you know, like I said, we have a angry male problem, and, you know, and particularly one of a certain race. But I think we are coming to grips with this rugged individualism, especially as it relates to men and their emotions. Like, we see that, you know, men are emotional creatures, and that, you know, it's not okay that because if a man cries that he is soft, or, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? We got to get away from this machismo, cowboy, John Wayne mentality as it relates to men. You know, like, men shouldn't just have to be cold hard. Like, everybody just can't be a killer. You know,
exactly.
You know, like,
you got to remember that's what's promoted.
That's the image that we see. That's you know, you either the hero or you're the comic foil, and that's what I was talking about last week on Father's Day. You know, how we portray fathers and stuff, like they're always the comedic relief. You know, and I think that does something, especially to young guys. It denigrates how they see themselves subliminally, and, you know, like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm supposed to be funny, ha ha ha, or I got to be this extra, you know, guy from, you know, John Wick, you know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no in between, or we're not exposed to those images of men showing emotions.
Even touching deeper upon that, you have to see that a lot of times we had let Hollywood
Dictated
our lives.
Yeah, especially as it relates to men of color.
Because if you sit back and think about it, there are things out there that you never went to the movie theater and saw and so forth, that you could probably get the DVD or whatever, however you get your media, and it's out there. You be like, why was this never out?
Yeah. I mean, you just don't see guys explode. I mean, you saw Glory, right?
Mm-hmm.
The coldest scene in there is Denzel getting whipped, and my man shed a tear. Like, he was like,
that was a deep scene.
I mean, one tear. You know how hard you gotta be to share that one tear. Like, we were still denied the fullness of this man's pain.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was so hard, and he acknowledged the pain, but he had one tear, that streamed down his face. So I think we know America has to come to a grips, and I say America, but when I'm talking about America, I'm talking about you and I and everybody else.
Right.
We have to let go of this macho, machismo, John Wayne, go at it alone mentality, and like every dude ain't a killer. Like we're taught that we need to be like that, you know what I'm saying? And that men don't show emotion and men don't cry, and men can't be weak and men can't be vulnerable. And even some of those conversations I see, when you see the men and women arguing on TV and a woman is like, "Oh, you ain't a real man." Well, how you know? Like, of the two of us here,
I know what you're talking about. I know exactly.
Which one of us is more qualified to say what is and what ain't a man?
But then that goes back to what we were just saying prior, because this is what's been taught. This is what has been instilled upon you. Maybe not directly. All right. It could have been by you seen that, and I'm talking about both sides, man and a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You seen that with other family members, or you seen that the neighbor across the street, and then let's add the TV to it. I didn't want to just put it on that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, that goes all around the bend.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, the mental health, we have to talk. These are real conversations around mental health, what it does and does not mean to be a man. And not to say, I'm not trying to denigrate or say that women don't have issues. I'm only just speaking from the perspective of which I'm familiar. Okay.
I mean,
but as a society, I think we have to acknowledge that there is a mental health crisis going on in this country. And we need to do a mental health war, just as we do the war on drugs, or the war on crime, or the war on poverty. We have to acknowledge that America has taken significant steps back in trying to treat the mental health of its citizens, and we will continue to have these rashes of violence, explosions, anger, resentment, and tribalism, because we have failed to address the mental health of this nation.
Right. And do you think, as well, as I spoke earlier about, they use the mental health thing now with gun control and so forth, do you think that it's also being used as an excuse?
Definitely. Most definitely. It's always
the situation,
and that poisons the stigma around mental health. That's why people don't get help. It's like, you wait till the last minute till you get help, or you wait till you have the overdose, or you wait till the noose is around your neck, or you wait till the person's on the bridge.
Right.
That person didn't just decide one day, wake up and say, this is it. Like I said, we're all perfectly imperfect, and there were definitely steps along the way. And, even in the absence of mental health, surround yourself with a good team. I can't overemphasize that enough. Someone you can call and reach out to, someone, all of us have angels. I don't believe angels have wings, or whatever. God sends you friends, and some of these friends, are angels. And those are the people that you can call on, rely on, who won't let you get too far down in the valley, and will lift you up when you need to be lifted up, and keep you in your place when you're a little bit too arrogant too. You know what I'm saying? But get you right, and I mean, I have like 3, 4, five of them. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying, at any given time.
Mhm.
Because I've been off in the valley. I'm an explorer of this valley. You know what I'm saying. I'm not sitting on this radio telling you I'm perfectly perfect and all is well. And no, that is far from the truth. You know what I'm saying. But I have friends who don't let me go off in the jungle too deep either. I
So
have.
right there, you got a true friend.
Oh, definitely.
There you go.
You know, like I said, I don't even call them friends. I call them my angels. When I doubt myself and I don't believe in myself, they'll be the first ones to say, I don't understand your viewpoint, dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but that's my little spiel. But definitely, so we already talked about moving. Next thing, get you a good crew. Good crew. If you can't afford mental health therapy, or reach out to someone, or or even meditation, get you a good crew. You gotta get you a good crew. Nobody makes it through this world alone. Nobody. We are not islands unto ourselves. We were never meant to be islands unto ourselves.
So very true.
So you gotta get you a good crew. And if you looking at your crew and you saying, hey, I ain't got one, you need to dump that crew and get you another crew.
There you go. Well, check it out, y'all. We're gonna go and take a quick musical break. Let me remind you guys, you can join the conversation. The number is 708-223-8953. We'll be right back. We are talking about getting to the good of your personal wholeness. This is Elevated Vibes on IntellectualRadio.com. All right, y'all, we are back. We are back. I have your boy Abdul Rashid with the boss man Mike B. And this is Elevated Vibes on IntellectualRadio.com. All right, we are talking about getting that good personal wholeness. Now, we touched on many things, brother. Let's touch on one of the toughest ones.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to talk about that spiritual part of it. All right. Now, if you look at it, the ill ways of humankind sometimes in general, spiritual ways can sometimes be it can sometimes completely separate.
Divisive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Separate folks. And it could be neighbors, it could be brothers, it could be father, whoever. It can divide you. All right. And we all know, however your spiritual thinking is. All right. All that I've seen and read and seen just in general with that level of things with people, everything is always talking about coming together, getting yourself closer to the creator. Mm-hmm. All right. But again, us as humans, we found a way to make it push other folks away. How can that be changed?
Well, first and foremost, this is just me, and I believe we are all spiritual creatures having a physical manifestation. I think that my mother was a teacher of science, and one of the laws of thermodynamic energy is neither created nor destroyed. It is only I forget the word, rearranged, whatever it is, Give us a call if you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, but so this physical manifestation, when we go back to the great beyond or wherever, wherever you believe in, I believe we are all connected. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so I do believe that you should believe in something greater than yourself. Now, be it Yahweh, Allah, God, Buddha, Confucianism, Taoism, whatever. I think when we believe in something greater than ourselves, we work harder for our fellow person. The thing we all have to recognize is our humanity, and that's what spirituality is. That I recognize something about you that is also within me. And so you have to believe in something better than yourself in order to make better for yourself. One of the, I listen to motivational speakers all the time. Les Brown, that's I call that my grandfather. Tony Robinson is my cousin. Eric Thomas is my brother. Bishop Jakes is my uncle. I listen to them.
Right.
And my grandfather, Les Brown, tells us a story. He says, imagine, if you will, that you are on your deathbed and you are surrounded by your family and loved ones as you start to make the transition from this life into the next. And imagine, if you will, that the ghost of regrets and pain and dreams are also there. And they say, we came to you and only you could have given us life. And now we are forced to die with you forever. Does that not connect with who you are as a person, that spirit within you? That when you make this transition, because we're all one day closer, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 second, 1 nanosecond closer. The next second is not guaranteed.
Right. And time keeps flowing.
Time keeps flowing. And so the spirituality of that and that story he tells is you have a responsibility to yourself and to those others around you, and sometimes the others around you will fight you, but you have a responsibility to them as well to manifest your greatness and the glory of whatever higher power is within you. I want the ghost of regret, the ghost of pain, the ghost of fear, and the ghost of doubts to be absent from my bedside as I go into this next life and I meet my parents again and my forefathers.
So to make this change, you saying that people got to go and do what, how can I say, what,
live to your fullest humanity, whatever it is. Too often we are confined by the expectations of others and the expectations of our parents, and we don't fully pursue what our God, our higher power, has put us here on the earth to do, to manifest his glory, his greatness, or her glory and her greatness, however you want to choose it. All right. And the only way you can do that is to be truly and authentic to yourself. And that takes courage.
Right.
That takes courage. A lot of us, we get caught up in the excuse of, family and taking care of others. But how much better would your family be if you were honestly living within your dream and your desires and your goals? You know what I'm saying? So spirituality is the hardest part because it requires the most courage.
Very true.
It requires you to be honest and true with yourself.
And I wanted to touch on that because you have to stand with whatever truth it is and the full-fledged truth. The reason I'm saying that is that, all right, you get people who take words from all of these good books, and I say that, all of these good books, and they only take part of it. And you run with just that part. But how can I say, if you only going to take one sentence, but it's actually a whole story, are you actually doing what you're supposed to be doing?
Right.
You have these people that do that, they harp on that, and they get others to be that way. All right. I'm not saying that my way is better than yours or whatever. because we all can have that conversation, and we'll all be,
as long as your way don't infringe on my personal freedoms and the pursuit of my goals, we good.
But people do this though.
Oh, and that drives me crazy. Like, just because your guy said that ain't what God put in my heart.
And that's what I'm saying. Because if they read further, if they studied further, they will see that what's needed is to work together, stand together, and get yourself closer to however you believe. Get yourself closer to that. All right. That person may not want to believe how you believe, but it don't mean that they don't have a good thought process, that they're not good people, but you do a lot of pushing yourself away.
I mean, like I said, the higher powers, one thing we can agree on regardless is, universal is the message is love.
Yes.
Love thy neighbor as you love
That's
thyself.
exactly what I'm hitting on.
But some people ain't made it to that far in the reading. You know what I'm saying? Like, I told you, we were talking about forgiveness last week, and I was like, I'm still on the last page of the Old Testament. I ain't at the forgiveness point yet. I know we're supposed to forgive, but I ain't made it that far in the scripture yet. Okay, so, but I can't fault you if you forgive. You know what I'm saying? If that's what God has put in your heart, and that's the other thing. Mm-hmm. We try to explain to other people what God has put in your heart, and it don't make sense to them because that wasn't in their heart.
Exactly.
That's in your heart,
and they're not even open in their.
It wasn't meant for them. That's like you giving me the Islamic scriptures to read. You know what I'm saying? You understand it because you studied it.
Right.
But I'm sitting there, I'm like, it don't make sense to me, Rich.
Right.
You wrong. No, I can't say that.
Right. No, I know
the message that God has put in your heart, higher power, Yahweh, Allah. I don't just want to, I want to be inclusive. I
totally understand.
Right. But if that's the message that the higher power has put in your heart, then that's your responsibility to feel it. Mm-hmm. Darn what I say, because he didn't put it in me. Mm-hmm. It wasn't for my understanding.
Right. But to get this personal wellness, and this is why, in a way, we separated the things to bring them all back together. You need it all.
Diversity is the key to life.
You need the spiritual, physical. You need the mental. All right. If you look at it, the spiritual can help the mental, and the mental
can help the physical. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Like I said, the physical, was a struggle for me, but it's gotten a lot easier. I'm working on the mental right now. Like, as we speak, I'm a imperfect person and a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? If you came across me right now, you would see under construction. You know what I'm saying? And the spiritual, I ain't there yet. I mean, not to say I'm not a spiritual person. I am.
Right.
But I got to get my mental in order. And I think once I get that in order, then I can deal with the spiritual. And, hopefully before I leave this earth, I can take care of my ghosts so that they ain't around the bed.
That's true. That's the way of being. In my book, is the steps in being that better you, of taking care of all these things. But many times, us as people, we don't want to touch on them. We touch on what has already been shown to us to do things in a certain way. Just like you talked about, as you were younger, you were being teased many times, and because of your weight. Mm-hmm. Now, if you can find some of those people today,
I told you I'm on the last page of the Old Testament. I ain't forgave him yet. I'm on the last page. I ain't flipped over the mark yet.
But who knows how their life is? And I'm not wishing bad on no soul.
Oh, I don't wish bad on nobody.
I'm not wishing bad on no soul. But right about now, if things is going rough with them, they probably could come and talk to Mike B.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wish them no ill will. No, at the end of the day, they were kids just like me.
Right. But they probably need some of your advice. I mean, like you said, how much did you say you weigh? Because 350
at my heaviest, 350, 352.
Some of them right now may be 5'5" and 375.
You
understand what I'm saying? You see where I'm leading to this.
Look, I get where you're going.
And they need your knowledge. They need a good word from you.
You know, if that's the way it's supposed to be, like I said, I you're asking me about forgiveness? Sure. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
was touching on that, but I was also saying how it could be all needed.
I mean, like I don't take away from those
the intertwining
experiences.
with everything to make, because hey, they may need to get to that personal wholeness.
It may have been just to keep me humble. You know, the powers that be might have been like, yo, if we don't check this dude right now, he's gonna be an arrogant a-hole when he grow up.
That's very true.
And
that's
so
very true.
So sometimes, God puts a knot in the tree just so that it don't grow a certain way he don't want to do it. I don't want that branch to go this way. I want it to grow straight up, so I don't fault them. I wish them no ill will, no ill, it all created to who I am right now.
Right. And that's a lot with everybody. Because I mean, trust me, I needed to be knocked on my butt, and then I needed a fire under my butt.
Yeah. We are we are who we are because of what we've been through and because of who we are.
Exactly.
But I know this is the final word, so I just want to say, you know what? It's been a great show. This is a topic near and dear to me. We'll be coming back and revisiting the show as often as, we can, because I believe that that's our purpose here, to elevate the mentality of people, to take people from the valley to the mountaintop. And I just want to say, as I always say, no matter how dark your day, no matter how bad your night, you can always be a lighthouse for someone in the storm. You are always a lighthouse in the storm for someone. Because no matter how bad you think you have it or how bad you think it can get, there's someone out there that's got it worse than you, and they're looking at you and saying, man, if you went through this, I can get through it. So continue all to be a lighthouse in the storm for someone.
And then my quick touch on it is this: we all need that personal wholeness. Now, don't get me wrong, everybody is probably a work in progress. All right.
We are.
I know I've been under construction for 40 something years. I ain't gonna say how many, but anyhow, we all need to get there. All right. And we can get there. We can get there together. All right. If anytime you guys that's listening to me, that see me right now or whatever, need some advice, you hit us up. Hit us on the email. All right. The triple threat of radio@gmail.com. You can hit us up through the Elevated Vibe
Facebook group.
Right. Twitter, all that. We will be happy to talk to you. That we will. We're not professionals on anything. I think we're professionals at learning in life.
Yes. Yes.
So
professional learners.
Yeah, exactly. So, hey, this is the end of the show. Elevated Vibes for this week, and
we won't be here next week. We will not.
No, we will be here next week. I know you got some time that you're going to take, but we will be here next week. All right. Much love to everybody. Much love. And we will catch you. And this is Elevated Vibes on IntellectualRadio.com.